Okay, thank you. Um, Hello, everybody. My name is Priyatma, and I'm from Fiji. It's actually quite late here, but I am very, very happy to be given this opportunity to do a flash talk. So I thank the organizers for this. I'm a researcher at the University of Fiji, but I've just started my PhD studies in the area of marine spatial planning and ocean governance, and I'm doing my PhD remotely from Linköping University in Sweden. So my talk today basically is about marine spatial planning, basically a focus on ocean governance in Fiji. Now, just a brief background about Fiji for those of you who are not familiar with it. It's an archipelago of more than 300 islands, and we have two major islands, Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. The majority of the Fijians live along the coast of Viti Levu because of the mountainous terrain. The interior of the level is very sparsely inhabited. So we have a lot of our population that is living along the coast and actually quite dependent on the marine resources. If you consider Fiji among the South Pacific island countries, then I can say it has one of the most developed economies in the South Pacific. We are an upper middle income country. We are using a lot of ocean-based industries such as tourism, fisheries, and marine aquaculture, which are very important providers of employment and income for the Fijians. Most of the Pacific Island countries are small developing countries with very small populations, but they have very large EEZ. So for instance, if you look at Fiji's population is approximately 900,000, and the land area is 18,000 square kilometers, but the EEZ is approximately 1.3 million square kilometers. And Micronesia, on the other hand, it has about a population of, I think, approximately 105,000 and land area of 700 kilometers square. But the EEZ is about 2.7 million square kilometers. So we are really very large ocean states. Fiji is heavily reliant on resources from the ocean, and like I mentioned, the ocean and the coastal habitats are widely used for subsistence as well as for commercial purpose. And one thing very important here to realize is that ocean plays a very critical role in shaping our people's culture and place and a sense of place. It's very intricately linked to the recreation and traditions that are very valuable to the Fijian way of life. So we have something known as the traditional governance system, which is applicable to the marine areas. The traditional fishing grounds are called golingoli, and in the Fiji, there is a customary law, and these golingoli areas are actually informed by the traditional systems. So the customary marine resource management practices actually have been long used in some Pacific Island communities in accordance with the traditional spiritual beliefs. In 1990s, I believe Fiji became very renowned for effectively implementing community-based marine resource management systems. And it has actually been quite effective. In most cases, they have been established by traditional leaders, and it is to basically provide an opportunity for the depleted marine resources to recover. For instance, customary management practices include seasonal bans on harvesting, temporary closed or no-take areas, and restrictions being placed on certain times, places, or species, or sometimes if the traditional chief in the village dies, then a particular area is, regarded as a no-take zone, so no fishing is allowed for, let's say, 3 months in that particular area. Now, this traditional marine practice, they still exist, and even though they may have eroded to some degree over the years, but the traditional form of governance are very important for consultation and discussion, but they really don't have any jurisdiction to make law or legal regulations. But Fiji's centralized system of governance does not really prevent individual communities from imposing traditional fisheries. So even if you have a license from the Department of Fisheries, you would still need to consult the particular villages that are managing their Golingoli or the customary fishing areas. So there are about 411 customary fishing rights areas indicated in this map. These areas are still being managed by the communities that the government now closely works with the communities to reinforce some of the management strategies that have already been in place by the different communities. Now, my PhD basically looks at the need for MSP and to see whether there are enough political initiatives or policy initiatives taken by Fiji, and how is the Fijian government basically interpreting the ocean governance. So Fiji has actually aspired to take regional and international climate leadership in the Pacific, and they have partnered with some of the high-income countries such as Sweden in co-chairing the Ocean Pathway Partnership. And another leadership role involved hosting the 2017 COP in Bonn, Germany.
30 seconds.
Okay, so there is actually growing recognition of the need to strengthen the national ocean governance in Fiji, and they have been looking at a lot of management, a lot of commitments have been made towards conserving ocean resources. Now, is MSP a tool for ocean governance in Fiji? Well, a recent project called IMBeR created the first ever toolkit that is in existence now for the Pacific Island nations. It's first of its kind in the Pacific, and it basically is tailored specifically for use by Pacific Island countries, and it's based upon lessons learned in Fiji, Solomons, Tonga, and Vanuatu. So in my PhD, I'm going to basically explore whether MSP is necessary, which I believe is, and whether there is enough financial support for developing an MSP in Fiji. And I'm also going to look at the traditional governance system and how we can integrate it with the central governance system to create a integrated marine spatial plan. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. Sorry, I think I